All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I just checked my phone. I have some pretty good responses. Jason says, I pay for your lifestyle choices by participating in those lifestyle choices. That was pretty good. Here's a quote. This year will go down in history. For the first time, a civilized nation has full gun registration. Streets will be safer, our police more efficient, and the world will follow our lead into the future. Adolf Hitler, 1933. And then from my brother Joe. Oh, sorry. It was a personal statement. We're going to keep talking about Obamacare and the liberal lie of healthcare. They keep talking about, we don't want to do away with our system. They do. They don't like insurance companies. Yet that is exactly what Obamacare is a giant subsidy for insurance companies. Doctors are getting the shaft. Costs for compliance have skyrocketed. It's incredible how much it's happened. There are rural hospitals going to go under because they want to take Medicaid and Medicare. It's absolutely devastated the medical community. Doctors are retiring at record numbers, and numbers never ever seen before, ever. We have kids coming out of residency that I've talked about this before, where, usually it's less than 1%. In 2015 was like at 3%. They're anticipating a 14% jump to 14% for the residents not going into medicine after this. Now, at the same time, medical schools are full. They're record full. Why is that? Because if you can't get a job and you're smart enough to go to college, the government will pay for it and you don't have to pay it back. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's what's happening. That's why college expenses are skyrocketing. Doesn't have anything to do with anything except government interference. And what happens is the government will create a crisis. And in this case, it's a crisis in healthcare. Because of the rules and regulations, becomes a problem. And the government says, well, listen, if you give us more money and give us more control over it, we'll fix it this time. And they don't. They didn't fix it with Obamacare. They didn't fix it with the Clintons. They didn't fix it with Carter. They don't fix it. They make it worse. You know why? Because then you're picking winners and losers and not the people that are capable. All right? That's all there is to it. That's very straightforward. Doctors retiring at record rates. My sister-in-law is retiring. She's taking basically a government job, working over at Mercy, right? I think she's running the residency program over there. Good for her. I don't blame her, right? If I get a cushy job like that, I'd do it too. Now, I know my sister-in-law, she's going to work hard, right? But she won't have to deal with all the BS that goes along with being a doctor. She'll have somebody else to deal with that. I can't tell you that when I go out to these conferences, the people that are retired are younger and younger. And the other thing is, there's one other psychiatrist in town that's younger than me, and I'm almost 50. That's what's happening in our community. People leaving at record rates. Great, glad you got free health care, but I'm charging cash and don't accept your Obamacare, so there you go. And if you don't like it, good luck finding another doc. And we're getting down to a two-tiered system. We had a multi-tiered system before where you can still get your health care, but now we're down to a two-tiered system. In Europe, you got to pay before they'll even transport you by ambulance. There's a fee you have to pay. They don't have to take you. If you happen to die because you don't have an extra $100 on you, you're just dead. Same in the emergency room. Don't care. People argue with me about it. Go over there and experience it. Go over there and live it. Just don't take my word for it. Go over there and experience that health care. Somebody who's very dear to me is suffering from cancer right now. And I do. I love her very much. I love her daughter very much. I'm going to tell you that she complains about a healthcare system all the time. Fact of the matter is, and I don't even want to be cruel, but if she were in Europe, she wouldn't even be getting treatment. And that's the truth. Because her form is so aggressive that they would go, oh, yeah, your chance of survival is low, so you're not going to get treated. And that's what it is. We're going to talk very briefly about the tolerance mob. They always talk about how you need be tolerant. The problem is they're not tolerant. They are intolerant. You have to be tolerant of blacks, right? That's what they tell you. You have to be tolerant of women. Have to be tolerant of everybody. But they don't show any tolerance for conservatives, right? If you're a black conservative, they hang you out to dry. In fact, if they're one of your own, like Juan Williams, they threw that guy under the bus. Not only did they throw him under the bus, they made that bus back up over him. It's one of their own. If you say anything that goes against what these left-wing loons say, you get crapped on. You get just torn apart. My friend Pat Van Zandt, big left-wing loon, big, giant, writes a letter to Ray Cabezu, another left-wing loon, and says, well, hold on. I liked your article, but I think you got this wrong, and this is really kind of what happened. You should have seen the letter Ray wrote back. It was awful. It was like I had written to her. Honest to goodness. And Pat was stunned. I'm like, yeah, welcome to my world. These people on the left have no desire for bipartisanship. They have no desire for good Congress and good caucus. They don't want to know what your opinions are. In fact, they get offended if you express an opinion different than them. For a long time, Lefty kept saying, well, this offends me. I finally yelled at him on the radio. Listen, you don't have a right to be offended. Right? If you're offended, go strap on a pair. Go cry in the bathroom, whatever you got to do, but come back here and be a man. Or if you're a woman, go be a woman. Go be an adult. That's the problem. People run around crying, you're offended. I'm sorry I have an opinion. I'm sorry yours is wrong. Bottom line is that when you confront them with facts, hey, listen, gun control doesn't work. That's been shown 100 times. Places with the least crime have the most guns. Oh, that's crap. You know, black on black violence is much more problematic than interracial violence. Oh, well, I'm a bigot. All right. But it still doesn't change the fact that those are facts. Now, we're going to come back with the next segment, and we're going to be going over a lot of facts because we're going to be talking about climate change and the biggest hoax ever perpetrated on humanity ever. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back right after this break. We couldn't do what we do without you.